So I'm getting wound up here, Mexico, with the plans of going to Las Vegas for the digital sign trade show for 2023, right? What I have in front of me is a piece of hardware that everybody here is very familiar with, made by a company called Azul, right? So
Right.
let's talk a little bit about form factor here really quick. There's an obviously blue light on the front, right? That's kind of handy.
Right.
If it's red, it's not powered up. If it's blue, it's powered up. Pretty simple. We can't make it simple. They could make it simple, right? It comes with
Right.
Wi-Fi. It comes with networking in it. So it's about the only single kind of USB stick thing here that, sorry, HDMI stick kind of computer that actually comes with networking built in, which is awesome. Okay. But it's the not so obvious stuff. There's no fan, right? So, RV, how long have you been servicing these things now? Going on
Yeah,
6 years, right?
6 years.
Yeah. In the last 6 years, have you ever had a client phone us and say, hey, it's not working, the fan's broke?
Mm,
No, you know why? There is
yeah,
no fan.
yeah.
People grab them, they're like, oh, it feels really hot. Oh, I'm a little concerned about this computer. It seems way too hot. What they don't realize is the genius of the engineering in this thing is they've got, decent processing power to them. So we're doing really seamless HD quality videos off of, normally these things don't have enough oomph to do all that. This thing does, and it heat dissipates off of the chassis. You got it?
Right.
Okay. So RV has one there running beside him that is the oldest of the oldest version. That thing's still running over there right now, right, RV?
Yep.
Okay. But here's what happened. Kind of the second version of these things. Okay. They continued to use the micro USB just like older cell phones do. And see the connector in here, right? This is now a round barrel connector with this newest one. Okay. So this is called the Azul Access 4. So the one I have in front of me here has the best uptime of any equipment we've ever put in the field. Right? Agreed, Harvey? Because you deal with this all day long. It's not
Yes.
very often we hear the computer doesn't work. We hear a lot of other things like, just random stuff on networking, people's own problems and stuff, but it's not very often it's the computer, right? Okay. Now, I want you to notice here on the side where my hand is, it's now a round barrel connector. So the company cares a lot, right? Enough to go, you know what? We're not going to do that micro USB thing. Sure, it's cheaper, right? But we need to do a round barrel connector. Why? Because people unplug and plug these things in relentlessly until they wear out the USB plugins. Right, Harvey? In fact, you just had this happen live. You had some guy unplugging and plugging stuff in at a event over in the Philippines a couple of weeks ago, right?
Oh.
So guess what happened? After all
Right.
that unplug and plug in with an old micro USB, one of the power supplies, one of those little pins and a micro USB, because it's just got so much stuff on a goofy little micro USB plug-in end. But guess what? Oh, actually, I got one right here. I can show you. Just so anybody watching this video understands. If you get an older style phone that has one of these, right? One of these little connectors in it, these things are buggy. From the day they were built years ago, they just are of a high propensity of failure. In fact,
That's what I got.
they did, yeah, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? Dealing with these things, they're a pain in the neck, right? Right?
Yeah. Actually, no, I
They're
don't
just
have that connection. It's the brick power supply.
No, you've got this. So yours has a round barrel connector, right?
Yes.
It's just better suited to the application of digital signage around the world. It's just a nicer piece of equipment. There's less likelihood as well somebody's going to put the wrong voltage into this thing and fry it, right? So anyhow, I said my piece for the day. This is the Azul Access 4. It's why we use it in digital signs around the world. One, it's fanless. Two, it's just well engineered. Yeah. There's a good thought process behind this thing.
Does that cover the hard, is it hardened to where it can resist high temperatures then? Is that what you're saying at this point?
Yeah, it's saying that because there's no fan to break down, what happens is you put a bunch of media players out in the field. Let's say you do 1,000 locations and they're all running regular PCs, right? And it's running
Uh-huh.
beautifully for about 24 months, and then you see them slowly go down. Just pop, 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 pop. I've seen entire networks of thousands go down after about 2 to 2.5 years. Why? The fans
Right.
get particulate in them, just like any fan would, dust and dirt and debris and grime and stuff from the air. And fans are one of the largest points of failure. So this just doesn't have that failure. There is no fan. It's engineered to run passive cooling.
Definitely. Definitely. I know
Yeah,
that just from, right. I know that from just
yeah,
what I have, what I work with.
yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, you work with some of the biggest LED trucks in the world, not to be humble about it, like you work with
yeah.
stuff that, same thing, it has to be smart engineering.